across certain stones or rocks, and I'm just drawn to them. It feels like they have a good vibration to them, and I will take those, bring those, and I will put them around my home and such. And it's kind of weird in a sense where sometimes I'll feel drawn to an inanimate object like that and feel, okay, this is something good that needs to be in my home. And so it kind of feels like, in a sense, you're increasing your armor more and more. And that's something that I've definitely found interesting when it comes down to crystals, gems, stones, so on and so forth.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know all the different stones. I mean, I pretty much stick basically with the quartz crystals because I know what I'm dealing with those, and that works for me. But yeah, I mean, there's a you can get heavy duty with the stones. You can stick with your quartz crystals and just do crystal grids around your house to keep the energy up and keep things cleansed. And my crystals are outside, so they're constantly recharged with the sun and the moon, so I don't have to do any of that stuff. But yeah, it's important. You really need to be aware and need to keep yourself. You have to protect yourself. You really have to protect yourself. And anybody that's doing any type of paranormal research, especially if they're doing the psychic end of it, they need to be doing adequate cleansing. Because if they're not, you can get sick.
Yes. And speaking about the cleansing, when you had mentioned someone was like, oh, well, if something negative follows me home, I'll just do a cleanse. No, just doing a cleanse, that's not it. You have to continue cleansing over and over and over. And it's something that could easily take months to a year, depending on the circumstance. And from my understanding, in some cases, it's something you'll have to do for the rest of your life.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, you're not just doing the cleansing; you're doing the prayers. You're
Yes.
working with, Archangel Michael, who basically, deals with fighting off the demons. So, I mean, and some people aren't Catholic; they might be working with something else. But nonetheless, I mean, you have to do other things. You have to. It's not just throw a little bit of salt around your house and some sage and you're done. I mean, you have to. If this is what you choose to work with, then, you have to take precautions and you have to do cleansings and clearings,
Mm-hmm.
But even doing in the course of a regular paranormal investigation, you do have to take precautions and be aware of what's happening around you and what the other people are doing. And that's why one of the first things you want to do if you're doing a paranormal investigation, for those people who are listening and they're new and they're just getting involved in this, one of the first things you want to find out is if someone's having what they believe to be negative occurrences in their home, you want to find out when did it start and what happened right before it started.
Yes.
What is going on? Did this person do any type of ritual work? I mean, there's a lot of people out here that do what's called necromancy. They're trying to, work with the dead. They're trying to do ritual work with the other side, bargaining with them. It's always a big no-no. You don't want to try to conjure things. You don't want to try to, conjure up a demon to do your bidding. All of these things are really against the natural universal laws. And anytime you start doing this kind of stuff, you're asking for trouble. So, you want to make sure that what's going on in people's home is not something that they attracted or created on their own. Because if they did, then they need to fix that. They need to find the right person to come in and clean up the mess that they've made, basically. Because it's not just a matter of having a paranormal investigation. They need help.
And I do want to also make a note about some of my personal experiences with paranormal groups. I'm extremely selective in what group I will be a part of. As a matter of fact, I'm not a part of any group at the moment because I've noticed in the past, if you get a paranormal group who is inexperienced to start with, and then they bring all kind of drama onto the set, and they have a lot of issues to start with, such as substance abuse, all sleeping with one another. I was in one paranormal group where they had practically all slept with one another, and every investigation turned into baby mama prom night drama. And
No,
uh,
that's bad.
I distance myself from that because one, I don't want the drama, but two, I really feel that when you have become a part of a team that is that negative, their already negative vibrations are not going to do good for the investigation that you're doing if you are trying to make contact.
No, it really doesn't. You know, if your intention is to create all this drama, you're going to create and attract chaos into the situation, and you don't need that. And I fully believe, and I've seen it happen so many times where people can, you know, and I'm not talking about highly intelligent beings, but you can actually create your own, you know, little entities per se. They're not going to be highly evolved and they're not going to be intelligent, but nonetheless, if you have enough intent, enough drama, and you put enough energy into a thought form, you can create things to start happening, and it's going to have a physical effect on things. There's the laws of cause and effect. And one of the first things people need to understand are the universal laws out here. And if you don't understand these things, if you don't understand, you know, the spiritual hierarchies, if you don't understand any of this stuff, you need to educate yourself before you start stepping out into this realm. You really do.
Yes, and another thing that I'd like to comment on is if you become a part of a group where someone has the initial goal to become the next Zach Baggins or the Warrens, please don't become a part of that group.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, you know, and there's many groups out here where they are just looking at the scientific end of things, and that's well and fine. And all they want to do is document, because that's all you really can do. You know, many years ago, I was at a little conference where, you know, Lloyd Auerbach was there, and John Zaffis was there. You know, he's now the haunted collector on television, and Johnny Zaffis was up there, and he said, "What are you going to do? What are you doing during the investigation?" And everybody just sat there staring at him, and he said, "Let me tell you what you're going to do." He says, "You're going to document. That's all you can do. There's nothing you can do with this information. Nothing. Nothing you're going to do with it. You're going to document it. That's it. And if your intention is anything else, you're spinning your wheels." I mean, I've done paranormal investigations for television shows. I've done paranormal investigations for the tours. I've done paranormal investigation for my classes. You know, but at the end of the day, I've got my day job. You know, I'm doing it for a class that I'm getting paid for. I'm doing it for a television show. You know, nobody's going to pay you to be a paranormal investigator. And if you're doing it for ego, you're not coming from the right place. And please, if you want to be a medium, you've got to let go of the ego. If you want to be the medium or be on the psychic end of things, you cannot come from a place of ego. It won't work. It doesn't work.
I completely agree. And I think that ego is one of the big things that can drive away positive spirits. I think that ego is a big thing that can drive away positive vibes. If anything, it can open up the door, in my opinion, to things that are more negative.
Well, it just gets in the way of things. It absolutely gets in the way of things, and in the way of, as far as being a medium or actually communicating with spirits, you cannot come from a place of ego. You just can't. You can't. If you are going to be doing the thing where you want to communicate with spirits and you want to be a medium, if that's what your intention is, then you have to understand that you are becoming a servant of spirit, that you are representing spirit, and that you are there to serve them, not the other way around. And that there's no place for your ego. And a very good friend of mine, Sid Patrick, who's a medium, who actually was my co-author on seance experiments, and he always says, and I love this quote that he says. It's my favorite quote, and it's, "Whenever you show spirit who you are, spirit's going to show you who you are not."
I like that. I like that quote.
Yeah. So mediums. If you're out to become a medium and communicate with spirits, you really have to be able to put aside that ego and step down from who you think you are or what you think you're going to show everybody, because spirit's not interested in that. They're not interested in any of that. They really aren't. They're all just coming from a place of love and wanting to communicate with their loved ones. They don't care about impressing anybody. They're not interested.
Yeah,
they're just not interested. Yeah, they're not interested in all that stuff. But anyway, Alex, thank you so very much for coming on the show today. I really, really appreciate it. This has been such a pleasure to talk to you. It's been so long since we've talked, and I just feel honored that you took the time to come and share your story with me. I really do.
Well, I really feel honored that you had me on the show. I really appreciate it. I hope that the story I relayed can help some people who might be experiencing things similar to what I did. And once again, that is the epiphany blessing of a home that I use to help banish the negativity from my home. And all you have to do is Google.
All right, tell them how they get in touch with you if they want to check out your YouTube channel. Let everybody know how to get in touch with you, Alex.
All right. All you have to do is just go to YouTube and type in Bookworm of the Damned. And pretty much I try to add a little bit of humor with my videos. They're not for young adults because I can get a little nasty sometimes, but it's all in good fun.
All right, all right. Alexander Brown, everybody, thank you so very much, Alex.
Thank you.
All right, guys. All right, guys, join us next week for another episode of The Scariest Paranormal. Have a wonderful night. Pleasant nightmares.